The Russian military's dominance over US forces in Niger is a stark and alarming reality. To effectively engage with Africa, the Biden administration and Western nations must reassess their traditional approaches and commit to equitable treatment of African countries. The current geopolitical landscape demands a shift away from outdated methods and the adoption of new strategies. The question looms: will a nation maintain relations if forcibly pushed out? Most wouldn't, but the US has shown a different stance, resisting calls to withdraw troops from Niger and Chad. This persistence contradicts local governments' desires, driving them to explore alternative partnerships, including with Russia. The evolving power dynamics in West Africa reflect a significant shift, with Russia's growing influence drawing attention from Western powers, notably the US. This trend challenges traditional Western dominance and highlights new narratives and pathways for engagement. Russia's assertiveness introduces fresh complexities, prompting a re-evaluation of diplomatic strategies and security alliances. Following the military coup in Niger, the US faces a complex dilemma, grappling with conflicting priorities and strategic considerations. Proponents of a robust US military presence argue from a security-centric perspective, emphasizing collaboration with regional allies to counter security threats like terrorism and transnational crime. West Africa has become a hotspot for challenges like Boko Haram and ISWAP, which exploit vulnerabilities to destabilize nations. Maintaining a US military presence is seen as crucial for supporting regional security forces with training, intelligence, and logistical support to combat these threats. The Sahel region, encompassing Niger and Chad, holds significant geopolitical importance due to its proximity to volatile areas like the Maghreb and the Middle East. The presence of extremist groups in this region poses a direct threat to regional stability and potentially broader international security interests. To effectively address these complex security challenges, a US presence in countries like Niger and Chad is deemed crucial. This presence enables close collaboration with local security forces, facilitating intelligence sharing, training, and joint operations to neutralize terrorist activities. Moreover, US troops play a vital role in maintaining regional stability, serving as a deterrent to potential aggressors and providing a stabilizing influence in an otherwise volatile environment. By supporting local security forces and engaging in counterterrorism operations, the US contributes to peace and security in Niger, Chad, and the broader West African region, preventing the spread of extremism and safeguarding American interests abroad. Proponents argue that maintaining a troop presence in these regions is essential not only for protecting American interests, but also for fulfilling international obligations and upholding commitments to global security. In an interconnected world, regional stability has far-reaching implications for others. By remaining engaged in West Africa, the US demonstrates leadership and solidarity with its allies, reinforcing collective resolve to confront shared challenges. However, critics of the current US military deployment strategy in Niger raise valid concerns following the recent military coup. The coup has raised questions about the government's stability and legitimacy, casting doubts on existing political structures' effectiveness. The new leadership's actions, particularly limiting US influence, signal a shifting dynamic that may impact future engagements. Critics argue that maintaining a significant troop presence risks entangling the US in internal conflicts, undermining efforts to support democratic governance and human rights. The perception of US interference in domestic affairs could fuel anti-American sentiment, exacerbating tensions and hindering efforts to promote stability and development in the region. This dynamic threatens sustainable governance and raises concerns about mission creep and unintended consequences of prolonged military engagement. While initial goals may have focused on counterterrorism and regional stability, military involvement may expand beyond its original scope, leading to entanglements in local conflicts and exacerbating regional security challenges. Critics advocate for a comprehensive reassessment of the US military presence in Niger and a re-evaluation of the broader regional strategy. This reassessment should consider potential risks and benefits, as well as alternative approaches to addressing security challenges while respecting Niger's sovereignty and autonomy. Critics emphasize the need for greater emphasis on diplomatic and development initiatives to address instability's root causes, promote good governance, and strengthen democratic institutions. By prioritizing civilian-led approaches and engaging with local stakeholders, the US can better support democracy consolidation and human rights promotion in Niger and West Africa. However, when considering US relations with Niger, it's crucial to factor in Russia's growing influence in West Africa, which challenges traditional US dominance and influence. Russia's expanding presence prompts US policymakers to re-evaluate America's role and interests in the region and devise appropriate responses to Russia's assertiveness. Russia's increased engagement directly challenges US influence in shaping the region's political and security landscape, historically maintained through diplomatic, economic, and military means. Russia's strategic actions, including arms sales, military cooperation agreements, and diplomatic initiatives, have enabled it to expand its footprint and gain a foothold in countries traditionally aligned with the US. Policymakers must carefully assess Russia's engagement in West Africa, considering its potential impact on existing security dynamics and US objectives. The possibility of Russian-backed actors exacerbating instability or complicating peacekeeping efforts adds urgency to the decision-making process. Furthermore, Russia's growing influence in West Africa has broader geopolitical implications, impacting strategic alliances regionally and globally. Policymakers must evaluate Russia's activities in West Africa within the context of its broader foreign policy objectives, considering potential repercussions for US interests and alliances worldwide. Russia's influence in West Africa is manifested through a multifaceted approach encompassing economic investments, military partnerships, and diplomatic initiatives. Nations like Niger and Chad are particularly affected, as Russia expands its presence and influence through strategic investments and engagements. Economically, Russia's significant investments in key sectors like energy and infrastructure have bolstered its economic influence, forging closer ties with local governments and enhancing its regional foothold. Diplomatically, Russia's active engagement with governments and regional organizations aims to increase its political influence, shaping West Africa's geopolitical dynamics to its advantage. However, Russia's rise in West Africa poses challenges for the United States, necessitating a careful reassessment of regional strategies and priorities. The potential erosion of US influence and interests in the region is a major concern, as Russia's expanding presence threatens to undermine traditional Western alliances and diminish America's sway. Moreover, Russia's growing influence could complicate US efforts to promote stability, security, and democracy in West Africa, potentially sowing discord among regional actors and impeding the effectiveness of US-led initiatives. Russia's expansion of economic investments in key sectors like energy, infrastructure, and natural resources is a significant aspect of its strategy to solidify its economic foothold and cultivate closer ties with local governments. This growing economic engagement enhances Russia's leverage in the region, providing avenues for resource extraction and trade partnerships, further deepening its influence. By investing in exploration, production, and infrastructure projects, Russia aims to secure access to vital energy resources while diversifying its supply sources. Russia's investments in West Africa contribute to the region's economic growth and solidify its position as a major player in the global energy market. In addition to energy, Russia is expanding its investments in infrastructure projects across the region, financing and constructing critical infrastructure such as roads, railways, ports, and telecommunications networks. These projects enhance regional connectivity, drive economic development, and position Russia as a key partner in West Africa's socio-economic advancement. Russia's economic engagement in West Africa is multifaceted, aimed at bolstering its regional influence and advancing strategic interests. Through initiatives like the Russian Export Center and partnerships with local governments, Russia is financing and constructing critical infrastructure, creating opportunities for Russian companies to participate in lucrative construction contracts and infrastructure development projects. Additionally, Russia's investments in natural resources, including minerals and precious metals, aim to tap into West Africa's rich mineral deposits, exploiting these resources for export and domestic consumption, and bolstering regional economic interests. Through training, equipment, and logistical support, Russia enhances the capabilities of these forces, fostering closer military ties and strengthening their ability to combat security threats such as terrorism, insurgency, and transnational crime. This contributes to regional stability and security, aligning with Russia's broader strategic interests. Russia is making waves in West Africa, and its military engagement in the region is a key part of its strategy. By supplying military equipment and hardware to its partners in Niger and Chad, Russia is establishing itself as a reliable supplier of defense technology and equipment. But that's not all. Russia is also providing logistical support to its partners, ensuring that their armed forces are operationally ready to take on security threats. This support is a game changer, enabling effective deployment and sustainment of military operations. By forging partnerships with local armed forces and providing comprehensive support, Russia is seeking to enhance its strategic leverage and establish a presence in areas traditionally dominated by other global powers. What sets Russia apart from traditional Western alliances is its pragmatic and transactional approach. Russia prioritizes economic interests and strategic partnerships over political conditions or expectations of alignment with Western interests. And while Russia's engagement emphasizes promoting democratic governance and human rights, it's willing to prioritize stability over democratization when necessary. Russia's approach to building alliances and partnerships in West Africa is flexible and opportunistic, allowing it to pursue relationships with a diverse range of actors and navigate complex political landscapes. Unencumbered by historical ties or colonial legacies, Russia can capitalize on emerging opportunities for cooperation and leverage existing regional grievances or conflicts to its advantage. Russia's strategy is marked by opportunism, identifying and exploiting political, economic, or security vulnerabilities to offer military assistance, economic incentives, or diplomatic support in exchange for strategic concessions or alignment with Russian interests. This allows Russia to foster connections with a wide range of entities and pursue its strategic goals with more flexibility and responsiveness compared to its competitors. The result? Russia emerges as a potent force in the geopolitical landscape of West Africa, with the ability to wield influence and shape outcomes in previously unforeseen ways. Its approach is a breath of fresh air, offering a compelling alternative to traditional Western dominance. As the region navigates complex security challenges, Russia's engagement offers a promising path forward, one that prioritizes stability, cooperation, and mutual benefit. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more news updates. Don't forget to tap the notification bell to stay up to date on all our latest uploads. See you in the next video.